Hey, Asen. So this is the first of many podcasts that we'll do.
I guess that's the case.
Yeah, let's try to do them on a weekly basis.
Agreed.
If we,
Let's give it
unless we run out of content ideas. Anyway, so let's just kind of, I guess, introduce ourselves and tell people what we do and where we are coming from with our ideas, how we arrived there. Do you want to start?
Sure. I am a full stack developer for 10 years now. My first project is a social network for writers that I started in 2016. And now I'm the CTO at 1703, where you and I do automated video production for YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah. And I'm the filmmaker, so I'm a full-time filmmaker, full stack filmmaker. I guess that's
That's a good one.
that's the way to do it. So I've been doing videos for my whole professional career for different companies and production companies and commercial companies, education institutions, and yeah, and
You
then
also did a documentary, right? You did at least one.
I did many documentaries. Like that's I started as a documentarian. I didn't like. I mean, the ones that I directed, there were two for Bulgaria, like for New Bojana, two of them, and then I did 11 10-minute documentaries for like a company here. Uh, yeah, and I mean like some other kind of like projects that I was doing lots of commercial work. Um, was also like hired to shoot different documentaries for PBS and Hulu. Anyway, but I guess like what I want to tell the audience is kind of like the story of how you and I we have been doing and working on different projects for the past, I don't know, 10 years, maybe more.
Yeah, I think ever since we met in university, we would meet up once every year or so, and we would think of new ways and new ideas to build, maybe a product it is or a service. We tried so many things. I think at some point we had this idea to uh, to sell YouTube studios to people. So
Oh
like you
yeah,
would get this. Remember that one? You would
remote.
get in the mail. You would get like a mat, a carpet that would show you exactly where to place the cameras based on your expertise, right?
Yeah,
And then we would sell the service of editing. This was before AI, so editing was like a manual thing you needed to do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we also did the Christmas tree delivery.
Yeah,
That
that was a good one.
that was a good one, and I think like for the video production agency, you were kind of like the cornerstone. Like you built the website that helped a lot to get the clients and feature the work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you and your wife came to San Francisco. I don't remember what year it was, but we were
It was 2019. It was
2019.
right before COVID.
Yeah. So like, did we already do the Christmas trees or no? I don't think we
Yeah,
did. Or
I think we already did them or we're about to do them.
no, I think we no. I think that we did them later. But I remember that we were brainstorming different ideas at downtown SF, and you're like, "Oh, we need to do something around your expertise." And
Obviously, Christmas dreams came up, right? Because that's
I hope,
in no way any of our expertise.
yeah. But I remember we actually like drew the plan of like a social network of different videographers and editors, and people can just like on demand hire people, and it will save a lot of time and money for companies, instead of like saying, because at that time I was traveling a lot for my projects, but if you can get a videographer or like somebody in the industry.
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny how like it made the full circle, like your suggestion was you know was spot on at that time.
Right one. Well, I mean that's usually what you do with startups, right? You see where your competitive advantage is, and you try to exploit that, right? And that's how we went. That's really how we started the 1703 platform. Is you just said, video is basically text, and LLM are great at text. So what can we do with that? How can we make that work? And the first thing we did was a Telegram bot, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was the first product, and it was basically you could send a video of yourself speaking,
Yeah.
and it would overlay B-roll on top, and it worked so well. It was addictive. It was really addictive. So we thought,
Yeah.
Let's make a product out of it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that, when we first talked about it, you were kind of hesitant, but then somehow you built it in like a few days, like the MVP.
Yeah, it took me like 6 hours to do. It was somehow we managed to get it working because the stock footage platform Storyblocks, they had this open API that you could use very cheaply. It was free.
Yeah.
For previews, so you could overlay the previews of the videos with the watermark.
Right.
So it was very easy to build because I just got the API access without, any approval or anything, and I would overlay the watermark videos, which is obviously illegal. So you can't do that in production. But that's how we got the first MVP together, like a POC together in a couple of days.
Yeah, and I think the big question was like, oh, can we actually get the real contract from Storyblocks, because it wasn't like the pricing were available. We needed to talk to them and get the pricing.
And that was the first big win, right? Because there wasn't any point in continuing. There was no AI video at this point.
Yeah.
So we just waited for the contract, and we got a call with the head of sales at Storyblocks. It was probably the 3rd of January. It was like right in the middle of the holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
Not with the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember like they quoted like $24,000 per year, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And we negotiated it down to 10,000, which was a huge win.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And that enabled us to build the first version of the platform, right? Which was just a B-roll overlay, and we started selling to enterprises. That was the first thing. To your clients.
Yeah, I mean, Berkeley signed up right away. I think they were the first one. Then Section was the second one, and they were, I think Berkeley and Section, they were all like hanging around for like 6 months or so.
Yeah,
it was pretty good, like pretty impressive. And then Course Hero came for 1 month, I think. They tried it for their conference, and then we had a contract with Startup Grind. Startup Grind, yeah. They still owe us, actually. They owe us the shout out.
Maybe we should take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'll send them an email.
Yeah, definitely do, because they owe us one shout out for that. And the funniest thing is our platform wasn't even fully built yet at this point. So
wasn't fully built, and I remember we were like we had an editor, like a human editor, doing some of these videos, and then I remember I had to jump in and also do some of them. And I mean,
but also I did some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was, I think, the biggest proof of that the thing works, because I have no video editing experience. I've never opened a video editor, and I was able, with the app, I was able to get these videos ready for the client, and they never knew that it was me. They thought it was you or the
Yeah,
professional editor. Yeah,
yeah. They
that
didn't
was the
know that
biggest.
it's a platform that is doing it
True.
either. Like they thought it's a human person. Yeah, human person. Um, yeah, no, I mean that was crazy, and because of that, we got into the and also the like we had an introduction to the Raise Capital Accelerator, and that kind of went from
That
there.
was that is my favorite story, though.
Really?
And yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna say it the way I remember it,
Sure.
because I think you're gonna be too modest. So what Alex did was, there was this dinner that you wanted to go to, which is an investor dinner,
Yeah.
and the dinner is supposedly a bunch of startups pitching to a bunch of investors, and the dinner is two parts, right? The
No.
first part is the investors meet up in a room and talk to each other, and the second part is the startups give the presentation. And we couldn't get in as a startup, uh, but somehow you registered as an investor. And I remember you had just finished the call a week before that with the Raise Capital people, and you went into this dinner and you were with the investors the whole first half of the dinner, when there was supposed to be no startups. You were the only the only startup pitching to everybody, and the Raise Capital person was there as well. So now
Yeah.
she's thinking, "Wow, that's some crazy, that's some crazy grind there, or hustle." And I think that was a major part in why we got into the accelerator. To be honest, it was a crazy move. It was so
Yeah.
good.
I remember because like when I talked to her on on Zoom, I was just like wearing my pajamas, like just, and then I came really dressed up, and then I said, hey, do you remember me? We just talked, and she looked at me, was like, oh, are you? Oh, wow. So she was shocked, and she thought, and then she invited us to the conference that they did, and
Yeah.
that's when she's like, hey, do you guys want to join? And yeah, that was really, I think that she thought that was like a very serendipitous moment, and I think that this is kind of like uh I don't know, maybe that's what investors are looking for, like for this serendipity moments, like, oh, maybe it's meant to be type of things. I have no idea. But
I don't know as well, but it's a great story. It's one of my favorite stories, for sure.
yeah,
Um, this-
no, I mean, like I remember was yeah, was messaging everybody about this, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit about 1703 and like how it transformed from the phased videos where you record yourself and then it overlays with some stock footage, and what is it now?
So we started out trying to clone Opus Clip for enterprise. We wanted to turn long form into short form. We were successful in doing that, in that we got the enterprise clients. We were delivering the videos through the app, but it turned into an account management nightmare really quickly. In that we needed to be talking to all of the clients, doing all of the videos, and it just couldn't scale. So we decided to pivot to a more self-serve model, and we also wanted to differentiate ourselves from Opus Clip. The long to short market is really crowded. There's hundreds of companies by now doing the same thing. So what we wanted to do was go back to the original Telegram bot that was overlaying the B-roll, and leverage text to speech, leverage AI to make these videos from nothing, and get them into a format that could be edited by somebody that has no experience in editing. We built a simple video editor, and then we launched. We had this first version where I'm forgetting the key part, which is our every person can create their own libraries in 1703, and these are libraries of footage of video that you can use to then make the output and reuse and repurpose constantly.
Essentially, like building your own stock platform, stock footage that you can constantly reuse.
Yeah. So we launched that, and it started breaking on us. And also, people weren't really interested in editing, right? Do you remember that part? Nobody wanted to edit the videos; they wanted to generate them and export them straight away.
Yeah, I'm actually yeah. I remember that we hired a guy who was editing it for our own channels and posting it and doing all of that work, because we were thinking of the tool as a co-pilot at first and not like a done for you scenario. But then the more we did the videos, the more we realized it's like, oh, people are not editing that much, like you said, and they just export. And even our editor, he sometimes like stopped, fine tuning things, and he's just like, oh, export and upload, and we would get some mistakes that he did, and the mistakes came from like text on the visuals, and that's where we realized it's like, oh, we need to also clean the libraries to make sure that they're pristine and nice and only consist of the best footage. Yeah, and then we fully automated that process because our editing was so good.
I remember one day I told you, like, he's like, our editor is not editing really. Maybe and our videos are still getting thousands. Some are getting hundreds of thousands of views. So maybe editing isn't really that important. Maybe we're at a point where we could automate the whole thing and have it run on autopilot, and then it can work on its own without having that human touch.
Yeah.
And remember, our first paying client had the same feedback, right?
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, this is great. I love these videos. Like I'm reusing my footage. They're a power washing company, so they're reusing the footage they take with clients. But I don't want to be spending my time editing stuff."
Yeah.
So
yeah. He didn't, he's not a creator. He didn't want to be creative. He just wanted something to work. And then he's like, oh, like it gets the views. These are the views that I'm getting that otherwise I wouldn't have gotten. And then he said that he tried doing TikTok and other social media platforms, but then, not only that you have to be consistent, and it's very hard, especially when you're running a business and you're trying to put out fires all around. But then if you want to hire a social media manager, then it's expensive and it's unaffordable for the small businesses like his. So it was, he was so excited that he even recorded the kind of like a case study testimonial for us that is on our landing page, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we tested that hypothesis, right? We thought, okay, what's going to happen if we run our own YouTube channels without human intervention? And there were ups and downs, but we kept improving the automatic process up to the point where now all of our channels run on autopilot and they're gaining subscribers. The viewers are happy. We rarely get any negative comments. Our like to dislike ratio is above 95%. I think on my channel it's above 97%.
Wow.
All the time. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's crazy. Yeah, but I think it's also great how we were getting like some pilot users that we were constantly interacting with. One of them was it the testosterone therapy company, and they did a few channels, and one of the feedback that came from them is like there is some hallucination in the content, and so we implemented the cross-check and making sure that whatever scripts are being written, they're correct. And I think
we source the information from the internet, but we double check that what's being said is real. Um,
Yeah, and I think that's also like one of the things that improved like the quality on our channels, because so we have many channels that are running constantly, but kind of like I have an archery channel that is my baby that kind of like started performing really well, and then Asen has a World War II channel that is also that is soon probably going to outperform the archery like easily because of how well it's done, and probably also the quality of library that he has.
that's true. My library is really good. I have more than 10,000 B-roll pieces.
Oh wow, yeah. So
From, I rated all of the open source documentaries that came out in the 50s and 60s with the World War II footage that are in the open domain. So I
yeah,
have this huge World War II library that's whenever a script is done, it always finds the correct footage for it, and that's kind of the thing, right? That's the thing with 1703. When you want to create videos about World War II, you better have the source footage. And I think this is like the way the normal YouTuber that's doing this manually would do it as well. They would source their footage first, and then they would make the video, right?
yeah,
And actually, that's part of what the algorithm does. It looks in what's in your library, and then it goes, "Oh, you have, 20 videos of Sherman tanks. Let's create a good video
yeah.
for a Sherman." So
And that's how like editors that don't know the context of the project, that's how they would do it. Like they would review the footage, like okay, so like they can extrapolate the type of content that could be created, and then and we are trying to mimic and replicate that um, into the system itself. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's crazy how well the performance. I mean, like I remember when we started getting, I think Archery Channel was the first one that started getting like
yeah,
100,000, 200,000 views on the video, and then it was like growing so rapidly, and we
I
were like,
think we got
okay,
almost 1 million views on the first viral one, and I remember like we were constantly sitting and refreshing the page
yeah, yeah,
and going and looking at the little. It was like watching the price of Bitcoin. If you're a crypto trader,
yeah,
sitting and looking at the graph of the views going up, and
yeah,
then it's slowing down. Oh, it's going up again,
yeah,
and like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it got to 1 million in a couple of days. That was crazy.
This is like
That
I'm just realizing right now because like I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I was like refreshing. That's how much excited I was about
yeah.
the whole thing working.
Well, that was a great moment, and I think we had this a couple of days ago as well. We had one video reach 1 million in 2 days. My videos often get 100,000, 200,000 views a day. So it's not as special now. You know what I mean? It's like the new normal.
Yeah.
But back then, this was like the big proof that the system works, and it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's fascinating how much easier it became to create video content and visual content in general. Like because you're not an editor. Have you edited anything before?
No, never. I've never even tried. I mean, I remember I tried Movie Maker when I
Yeah,
was in college, and I gave up. And that's a simple program.
yeah.
That's like, it's not even close to what the pros use.
And now you're a YouTuber.
Turns out I am. I have 4,200 subscribers now. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I'm really proud of the last one, the last edition we did, which is, I know you're not that big of a fan, but I implemented the ability to follow related channels. So you can get the information from a related channels and see, oh, there is a viral video for, Tiger tanks versus Sherman tanks in our related channel. And the related channel has a few, like 10,000 subscribers.
mm-hmm.
But that was really a game changer for my channel because that's when I started getting these viral videos,
Mm-hmm.
mostly based off of what the competition was doing. Uh, that was a month ago, and I added like almost a third of my subscribers in that month.
That's crazy. That's huge.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that you had any videos like hitting like a million or like 600,000 like the archery did. So like once, because I think that it's inevitable that you will hit that point, and then when that happens, I think that it would it would be a huge performance.
Yeah. I had one video that got 500,000 views about 2 months ago. Other than that, most of mine are around 100,000.
Yeah, but it's just fascinating how um, you there is no way really to predict um, which videos are gonna pop or not. Like even when you're taking the inspirations, it's not a guarantee that it will get like
That's
millions.
true.
So it's funny how it becomes more of a quantity game. And it's like, yeah, okay, you put out 3 videos a day, and then maybe the first 3 days it's gonna be kind of like around 2 3 thousand, maybe 5,000 views per video, but then on the fourth day, boom, and then you see the huge spike. And I feel like it's so much different now compared to like how the video production was before, because before companies would spend tons of money to create just one video, or like,
I think it was like thousands, right? Thousands of dollars
yeah,
per video.
definitely. And I think that now, if I'm thinking about like if I were to continue doing like the video production, like I think the model has to change, and the offering has to change, where you don't charge thousands of dollars per one video, but you kind of like create a package. It's like, okay, we're gonna capture this much content, and we're gonna create like kind of like the main video, but then out of this main video we can create like other little snippets that can be posted across the different social media channels. And I think that our tool has the potential to do that, like to
Well, that was the
repurpose.
whole idea, right? The library idea was, you get these companies wasting so much of their footage,
Yeah,
uh, shooting once, making one video, and then forgetting about it. If you can just reuse that constantly, the way, our clients do for their YouTube channels,
yeah,
and have quantity, regularity in posting is also very important, because channels get shadow banned.
yeah,
They need to be warm. You need to be like, the algorithm rewards posting every day, basically.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, like, it's basically, it just what it also does, it increases your return on investment that you spend, because you still have to hire a videographer to capture the footage, right, in
Yeah.
order for it to look great, and all that. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I wanted to say is that it's interesting how we arrived to that idea, and I think the biggest reason why we did that is because of that accelerator that we went through, because that's um, I remember I don't know if you were in the meeting. Like, have you been on the meeting where there were all the partners of Raise Capital and we were pitching the
No,
idea?
I don't think I was in that meeting.
Yeah, I think it was like the most important one. I wish you were there, but I was pitching the idea and showing the demo, and the guy, they're one of their main decision maker, and who is kind of like very technical and very savvy in what's happening in the startup space. He says like, "Oh, I just yesterday I had a call with Opus Clip, and he shared some metrics of how many users they have and how much money they have raised already." And it's interesting how, you know, I thought originally it's like, oh, well, then we are a no brainer because we're just starting and this is a proof that it can work. But the way they saw it is, okay, there is already a product there. And you, like, if you were to continue that path, you'll be playing a catch up game. So you either, and not only that, but because you are serving the enterprise and there is like this high touch, white glove setup with them, with the clients. They said it's either you need to double down on the agency and embrace the tools that are out there, like Opus Clip. So basically, like scrap everything that you did and just use Opus Clip, and it would be a lot cheaper for you. And then focus on acquiring more of these enterprise clients, or you have to pivot to something that nobody does. And
That you're first that, right? And that's when everybody was doing the AI video, images, and they're still doing that, but nobody's doing the real footage.
yeah, yeah. Still, I mean, like up to this day, like everybody is very bullish on the AI generated content, which definitely is going to perform. But like I think that the more videos like that's going to be out there, the more real footage be valuable. And at this point right now, we're still using AI voice to narrate the stories, but I mean, we have a roadmap where we can actually bring back some of the interview moments or like create the documentaries, and that's coming later. But so far, we just wanted to focus on what is working well.
Well, the thing, like, the person from Raise Capital, the partner, they were completely right. We were playing catch up. Or Opus Clip was playing catch up to us because many of the features we introduced, they introduced a month or two after us.
Yeah.
But then, it becomes like they have, millions in revenue and they have a team of 20 people. And then for us, it's, a couple of people trying to build the same thing. So, naturally, it's not the best bet for them. But yeah, I think it was good. Like where we are now is we have this thing that you can use to make a YouTube channel, with almost zero effort. And I think it's crazy to me that I have 4,000 subscribers, to be honest.
I mean, like, so it's interesting how you're like focusing on the subscribers more. Like, what I'm shocked by is the views that we're getting per month. Like because this is the reach that the channels are getting, and I mean, this is the audience that can be served by products, by like you can create Discord communities, you can like take it a lot further. It's just because our main focus is our video generation and the tool, but out of that,
I got 2 million views in the last.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, like that's impressive.
And that's just on one channel. There is also like some of our channels are bringing in sales of related content.
Yeah.
We have call to actions because YouTube doesn't allow you to have links in your shorts.
Yeah.
What we do is we have the link in the captions. It's not clickable. So the friction is huge for the user to actually, take the text and type it into the browser instead of clicking a link.
Yeah.
But still, like on a channel with 50,000 monthly views, we're getting 50 to 100 people visiting the actual website, even with that friction.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of sales on that channel and on that website as well. Just from YouTube, just from automated content, which to me is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's a huge validation that it's a real audience, that they care and that they actually want to find out more. And now we've also introduced the call outs, right? Like after every single video, it's like, oh, go and check out this website. And we just did it for our platform 1703, and we already see the spike in the visits to the website, which
I think it's like even 10x growth, right? That's what the difference is between, and we didn't have any paid marketing or anything. We just get this 10x growth by just using our channels and the millions of views we got on it. So
no, I mean it's fascinating, and it's crazy how like it's inspiring and a little bit scary at the same time, but more inspiring. Because like,
why is it scary?
The scary part is how well it works, already, and I think that what's going to happen in the next 6 to 12 months is going to be even better, and like how fast it's generating the videos, how fast it's assembling, and the quality is so good. Like sometimes I'm looking at the output and I'm like, wow, insane.
Yeah. I mean, I get people all the time giving me like these comments like, keep going with your channel. It's a really good channel. Thanks for all of the effort you're putting in. And I mean, I am putting in the effort. I'm building the algorithm and the whole thing, but it still makes me happy. They think it's a real person working on this, which is, encouraging because um, that's kind of what you want to have, right? You want to have you want to watch content that seems authentic and real. You don't want to watch, you know, slop.
Yeah, and yeah, because I'm sure that they're getting a lot from it, enjoying the content, and then maybe like suggesting some ideas. Have you actually taken any ideas into the videos?
Yes, I have. I think my viral video was born out of it. Somebody mentioned like, oh, Tiger was a lot better than the Sherman tank. Let me see which one was my viral video.
Huh.
It was about the Tiger tank for sure, the indestructible Tiger
You
tank.
want to share the
So they
screen?
told, sure. So they said like, oh, you do a video about the tank. The Tiger tank was so much better than everything else. So I made that video and got 405,000. This was back when we were manually, typing in the topics.
How many subscribers did you get from that video?
Oh, let me see. 300.
Not
Oh,
bad.
that's pretty crazy. It's still getting some views.
Yeah, that like this was one of the realizations like after running the channels is like how being a YouTuber it's not something that you can like stop, because the every single piece of content that you put out, it has a life,
Yeah,
um, and
it
then
gets forgotten by the algorithm pretty quickly, and then it's not like you make 10 videos and it's gonna be 10 years of views, right? It's usually a couple of days,
yeah,
and then it's gone.
yeah. So that was fascinating, and I think that is even more merit to the automations and what we're doing and the consistency of like the content that are being put out. And I've noticed that like for the archery channels, like sometimes it repeats the same content over and over again, but people are still watching it and people are still liking it. And the reason is because there is a duration of content for each video. Maybe it's served to a different audience in your subscriber base, or people that are following your channel. And I think that this is great. So like, because I think many people would be scared of like repeated content, but actually it's not bad.
Well, I find that most of my audience is not subscribers, so I suspect it's showing it to new people every time, which is why it keeps
Mm,
getting the likes and getting the subs.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, that was great. Do you want to add anything else? It was kind of like the introduction to 1703 and what we're doing, but maybe next time we can
Yeah,
talk about something
um,
more detailed.
yeah, we can probably next time we can go into some of the strategies I used to get the World War II channel running,
Mm-hmm.
like long form versus short form content, how we automate that, how we make it work. I was actually just looking at the long form, and we are getting some traction in some of the videos, which is pretty great. So maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah.
And also, we have a Discord server. So if anybody wants to join, that would be great.
Yeah. It's going to
Um,
be a link in the
it's
description.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time, Asen, and thank you for watching. Until the next time.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, Asen. Cheers.